A lot of you have probably heard the term early extension in golf. It's one of those terms at the moment that seems to be a bit of a buzz term. Let's have a look at what it actually means, what the causes are, and then of course what we can do about it, which is the most important part. Hi, I'm Peter Knight, and I've created this channel, Peter Knight Golf, to help you play the best golf you possibly can. And if you watch the videos which I send out almost every week, then you'll find that there are going to be things in there with long game, short game putting that are going to help you massively improve what you're doing. So let's see today if what we're talking about with early extension is one of those. So just to sort of define the term, if I tilt my body forward, I'm bending my upper body. When I straighten my upper body, I'm extending it. So early extension is just in the golf swing where your body straightens up, it's happening too soon or too early. Now, mostly that refers to what's happening in the downswing, so we'll focus more on that. In the backswing, if my body extends too much, then obviously I'll straighten up. And that's when your mates say, hey, you've lifted your head, which of course, I mean, your head's attached to your body, so your body's got to have moved. So, but let's shift our focus back to the downswing movement. So when I swing the club back down toward the ball, if my hips move in toward the target, my body will straighten up. So that's one cause. So as I'm swinging down, my balance goes toward my toes, and in order to keep my balance as the club's swinging down, my body has to straighten. If my balance goes towards my toes and I don't check my balance, I'll lose my balance. So that's the first thing. The second is that if I use my arms to pull them down really hard as the club's pulling down, which I see a lot of players on the golf course, on the driving range behind me. There may even be one behind me now who's feeling like they're trying to pull the club down, whether it's to sort of retain lag or whatever. Often that pulling movement tightens the body, and they've got less chance of retaining lag because their body's come up, the club has to go to the ball. Anyway, whole different story. But let's have a look at ways that we can stay in posture, which is really avoiding that early extension. Now I've got a ball on the ground here, a little medicine ball. This one here is a 4 kilo ball, but if I hold it in golf posture, so my arms are literally suspended, and you can see I'm in golf posture here. Now, from here, the important thing is that my arms stay nice and soft. And if I just allow my hip movement to start to create a swinging motion with my body, I can get a sense that my body's turning back and through, and then from the side view, you can see there's no changing, my body's not moving up and around. So as I'm doing this movement, I've got an awareness of where my balance is in my feet. So it's not toward my toes, it's not toward my heels, it's in the middle of my feet. As I swing as I allow my body to swing my arms and the ball back and through, my balance is moving from foot to foot. As I go back, it moves to my right and a little toward the heel. When I swing through, it moves to the left and a little towards the heel of my left foot. If it doesn't, then I'm probably going to lose my balance a little bit. So that movement, I'm also focused on what's happening with my legs and my hips so that my upper body doesn't lift or drop. So I'm learning to control all through here. So it's control through ankles and knees and hip, just to give me the feeling of being able to retain that posture. To add to the description, as I swing the club back to the top of the swing, my body's rotating and it actually is straightening a little bit. So if it didn't, when I swing back and I stayed bending, and you probably see this better from this view here, my body would do that. But of course it doesn't. It will extend a little bit. So that sort of adds to the confusion a little bit. In the downswing, my body is going to go back to bending as I swing through. Definitely don't want it to go the other way. So having that control of the hips and the upper body and the legs through this movement here is absolutely critical. Not necessarily a natural movement, but it's a movement that you need to make to have an effective golf swing. So when you're moving back and through, think about the form that you've got and the control that you've got through legs and hips. And even just to start with, if you're, say, I've got a 7-iron here, but if I might start with, say, a pitching wedge or even little swings from here, can I get the feeling of body staying forward? I've got my golf posture. As I'm moving back and through, can I get the feel of retaining posture? If you're recording your swing, record it from this view here, and then even making those same little swings, just play little shots, and then have a look back and notice whether or not you changed your posture or extended your posture during the downswing. As the club swings back and through faster, then your tendencies are more likely to kick in, the tendencies you had to begin with. So you might need to practice this with slower swings for a while, but don't limit yourself to those. Work up the pace of the swing, the range of the movement, so that you start to be able to get to a point where you're hitting a driver with a full swing, full power, and still retaining posture. This is one of the most common errors or challenges that players have, is actually retaining posture throughout the swing. Well, throughout the swing until impact, because once the ball's been struck, your body will naturally straighten up, as much for the health of your back as anything, but it's also a natural movement. But we just need, from the top of the backswing until impact, just to retain that posture. The best players do, and it's not a physical challenge so much as a control challenge. So practice that movement, observe yourself doing it, and you'll find that your ball striking will get a lot better, particularly the centeredness of your contact, when you can maintain posture correctly.